Friday. You know what that means? It's John Wick Chapter 4 day. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, was released in 2019, and it was once again directed by Chad Stahelski, starring Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, Lawrence Fishburne, Halle Berry, Mark Dacascos, and Asia Kate Dillon. And yes, John Wick Chapter 4 is finally upon us. I don't get to see it until tomorrow, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that review, hopefully on Monday. But either way, I'm really excited to see it. And obviously, I've been reviewing these films leading up to the release, so here's my final catch-up review in this series for John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, starting off with the good, and just like the first two movies, this is a damn near perfect action film. First of all, you have Keanu Reeves once again returning as the titular hero, John Wick. And he is once again absolutely terrific. He gets even more emotional beats with his character and much more character development in this movie. Really, really great as this character. Once again, absolutely synonymous with this character at this point. And then for the rest of the returning cast, we have Ian McShane as Winston, and he still does a terrific job as well. Gets even more to do in this film. He actually does help John Wick in a couple scenes regarding some stuff that goes on in the third act. And then you have Lance Reddick as Sharon. And this is the movie where Sharon really gets to shine as a bona fide badass, because there's this big shootout in the Continental during the third act that he actually gets involved with. He helps John Wick. He gives him weapons. He does a little bit of shooting himself. And this just really solidified Sharon as, along with John Wick, my favorite character of this franchise. He gets really great moments to shine. And Sharon's also a dog lover, so there's that going for him as well. And then the final returning cast member I want to talk about is Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King. Absolutely terrific performance once again. Lawrence Fishburne just shows up and steals the show from everybody he shares the screen with. Absolutely just having a blast in the role. Really excited to see where they go with his character in Chapter 4. Looks like he's finally going to be given a huge role in Chapter 4. Whereas he was just kind of a supporting character in Chapter 2 and 3. He's getting a much bigger role in 4, looks like. So I'm really excited to see where they go with that. And then there's a few new characters I want to talk about. First of all, you have Sophia, played by Halle Berry. And she's not in this movie a whole bunch, but Halle Berry is just one of those actresses that shows up and just automatically makes everything better. Almost everything better. X-Men 3 kind of sucked, but that wasn't her fault. But she does a really good job. She only has a couple scenes. There's only like one segment of the film where she's actually in it. But she was really good, and I really loved her chemistry with Keanu Reeves. And then you have the two villains of this movie. First, you have the representative of the high table villain, the adjudicator, played by Asia Kate Dillon. And this character is really, really great. They're a lot of fun, very serious. I really like the way that this character really commands the screen presence when they're on screen. And Asia Kate Dillon does a really good job playing the character. Very straight-faced, very serious. And then you have the character of Zero, played by Mark Dacascos, and he's just absolutely chewing up the scenery in this movie, much like the Bowery King. This is probably my favorite villain in the John Wick franchise. He just does a really great job. He's having a blast in the role, and his fight scenes with John Wick at the very end of the movie, absolutely terrific in that whole glass room. Such a badass action scene. I just really love that whole scene. And then there's another new character in this movie called the Director, played by Angelica Houston. And she only has 2 scenes, but she does a really great job. She plays kind of John Wick's adopted mother who helps him escape from the city once his global bounty goes public. And then she shows up later on in the movie to be punished for that by the adjudicator. But she does a really great job. I just love Anjelica Huston. She's a great actress. She's not going to be in Chapter 4 as far as I know, but she is going to be in that spin-off Ballerina or whatever it's called. She is going to be in that, so I'm really excited for that. And then moving on from the characters and the acting, the story here, once again, is great. It picks up right where John Wick Chapter 2 leaves off. John Wick has broken the rules. He's being excommunicated, and there's a $14 million bounty on his head. So John Wick goes on this globe-trotting adventure to try and clear his name with the High Table. And it's just really a lot of fun. Non-stop action really throughout the entire movie. Really great action pieces. It starts out with a library fight, and which leads into a fight in a horse stable, which honestly is one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie. Some really funny kills in that scene. And like I said, action scenes in this franchise, obviously, always amazing. Just from the beginning, action scenes, all the way to the third act where there's a giant shootout in the Continental. Absolutely terrific scene. I absolutely love that scene. It's absolutely badass. Probably my favorite action scene in the entire franchise, honestly. And then you have, once again, score and soundtrack. As with every John Wick movie, like I keep saying, absolutely terrific. And obviously, the editing in this movie, absolutely terrific. Makes the fight scenes very clean looking, very realistic looking. Just a lot of fun with the editing there. And also, another fight scene I want to point out is the glass room fight between John Wick and Zero and his men. It's honestly kind of a funny fight, just the way it all plays out. But it's also really badass seeing John Wick go up against these samurai characters. A lot of fun there. And that's about all for the good. On to the bad. And I'm not even going to waste y'all's time. Nothing's bad about John Wick Chapter 3 either. I'm sorry. But this is just really a perfect franchise so far. So, final thoughts. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Obviously, loved it. This is probably my favorite of the franchise so far. And, well, they're all 10 out of 10 movies. But either way, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is a lot of fun. And I just absolutely adore this entire franchise. And I'm giving this one, obviously, a 10 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.